What are the data types? Character, numeric, integer, and
String.
predefined. Those are the predefined data types. And user-defined data types are structures, table
Yes.
types. These are the user-defined data types. Correct.
Yes, sir.
So class is also something like a user-defined data type. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now assume that this is something like a variable. Assume this is a class. This class has some methods. Method M1, method M2, method M3. Something like that. This class has a methods. What is a method? Method is nothing but assume that for the time being, assume that method is something like a function module. Method will have a piece of code to execute, just like your function module. Function module will also have some piece of code, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just like that, your method also has a piece of code to execute. Function module has a import and export parameters, correct?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, methods also has import and export parameters. All the methods will be there in a class. Got it? All the function modules will be there in a function group. Just like that, all the methods will be there inside the class. Now, assume that same method name will be there inside the same class. Can I have same method, that means M1, repeatedly 2 times in the class?
So
If
then,
somebody knows C++, they can answer. If somebody knows, otherwise not a problem, I will tell you. I have a class. In the class, I have 2 methods. Can I have same name for the 2 methods?
maybe it will
When
not
you
take, sir.
speak about the other languages, yes, you can have. Okay, but when you speak about the above, in above this is not allowed.
Yes, sir.
If you have a class C1, you cannot have the same name of the
Yes.
methods. Okay, so method parameters are there, correct? Method parameters. Those parameters are called signature of the method.
Okay, sir.
Say for example, a function module has a 2 importing parameter and 1 exporting parameter. So those are called the signature of the function module. A method has 2 importing parameters and 1 exporting parameter. Then that is called the signature of the method. Okay. Say for example, this method M1 has a 2 parameters, 1 import and 1 export. So those 2 parameters are, first one is integer, second one is character. Assume that this method M1 has a 2 parameters. One is importing and another one is exporting, or both are importing. So first one is of integer, second one is of character.
Organization.
Same method M1 you can declare once again with a different
Urbanization
signature.
and
That means
industrial
different import and export
urbanization and
parameters.
industrial
Okay, so say for example, I'll declare first one is now character, second one also character, and third one also character. I'll declare one more method with the same name with a different signature. Signature means what? Just like import and export parameter. As of now, you can remember this is called method signature. Signature means import parameters of the method.
has
Assume.
populated the atmosphere.
Now what I can
What
say
happened
is,
positive change? Companies formed
in other languages,
individual must work
in the class,
with future
same method name can exist
government
with a
has
different
power
signature.
and influence to
Okay.
enforce stringent laws.
So when you are
Minimize
calling this
tax
function
and
module, or when you are calling this method, what you will do?
minimize
You will
the
give
extent of
one
corporate
integer and one character, then the code inside this one will be
companies
executed.
must act
When you are calling the method, if you give 3 characters, the code
to
inside this
promote
method will be
copy.
executed
The
automatically.
first step is to create awareness
Okay,
among
so
people.
this is something like you are calling the same method but based on the
there must be
signature
heavy
of the method,
penalties. Heavy
it
penalties
behaves
for
differently.
offending.
The cursor will go
Offenders
to the
being
different
punished.
locations.
Furthermore, the government must promote the use of
Okay,
alternate
so this is
and
called
renewable
method overloading.
sources
This
of
concept,
energy
so
and
whatever the
provide
concept we thought now, we
subsidies
discussed now, this is
on
called method
subsidies. Individual
overloading.
can use recyclable product
In
and
your
waste
interviews, they will
until these
question you
issues
what is the method
don't
overloading.
hurt companies. These
Method
issues
overloading
don't
means
hurt company and individual
inside the
processes.
class
They will keep
there can be
things
two
to
methods
increase
with the
their
same name
profits.
with different signatures. So this is called method overloading. Okay, so now the next concept is method overwriting. Method overwriting. Okay, so what is the method overriding? Method overriding means there is a class C1. In the class C1, M1 is the method. There is another class C2 which can have also method M1. Here classes are different. So this is called method overriding. Overriding means same method can exist, same method with the same signature can exist in different classes. This is called method overriding.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now whenever somebody asks you what is a polymorphism, polymorphism means behaving differently in different situations. So in polymorphism there are two concepts are available: method overloading and method overwriting. Method overloading means in the same class
Same name,
two methods
two
two
methods.
methods with the same name will be there with the same with a different signature.
Okay, sir.
That is method overloading, which is not possible in ABAP.
Okay, sir.
Method overwriting means in different classes we can have the same method name with the same signature.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so these are the concepts in polymorphism. Okay, now the next one is abstraction. What is the
Sir.
abstraction? What is the general meaning of abstraction?
Abstraction means. Sir.
Yeah,
Sir, you told method overloading is not possible in ABAP. Method overwriting is possible, sir.
yeah, method overriding is possible.
Okay.
Okay, now the next
Okay, sir.
concept is abstraction. What is this abstraction? Abstraction means sometimes what will happen, we will create a class, we will create a method which describes the basic functionality. For example, you take a car. Okay, car means what is the basic functionality of the car? A car should have an engine. Car should run. That means the basic functionality of the car is to take you from one place to another place.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now there are different cars are there. There is a Maruti. In the Maruti, if you take the Maruti 800 is there, Maruti Jen is there, Wagner is there, and so on and so forth. There are different cars are available. In different cars, in different engines will be there.
Yes, sir.
But the car basic functionality is to have a engine,
Yeah.
assume. But in different, based on the model, it has a different engines.
Yes, sir. Features will be different.
Whatever it may be, the basic functionality, that is having an engine. Similarly, it should take you from one place to another place. So maybe Maruti 800, if you go with the less speed, maybe Maruti Wagoner or some good car, you can go with the higher speeds.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how it differs. For example, another example I will tell you. When you write a competitive exams,
Yes, sir.
have you ever written the competitive exams like RRB, Railway Recruitment Board or something like that? Have you filled the OMR sheet
Yes, sir.
with the pencil? With the pencil, you need to circle some boxes, kind of thing. You need to
Yes, sir.
mark the boxes. Correct? Have you ever done that?
Yes, sir.
OMR sheet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the thing is, assume that some 100 members are writing the exam. For 100 members, OMR sheet is common. That is the basic template. OMR sheet, the same sheet they will give.
Yes, sir.
But you will mark your name, another person will mark his name, somebody else will mark his name. Correct? But
Yes, sir.
they will distribute the same sheet to the everyone.
Yes,
That is
sir.
the basic functionality.
Yes, sir.
So that is called the abstraction.
Only
The basic
the
functionality will
fact
be
that
there.
only the fact
However
no
you
one
want, you
can
implement the
no
class.
one can only the fact
Okay.
that
The
the
base will
planet
be there. After that,
the
whatever
planet
you
we
want,
live in
you can build on
the
it.
planet lived on serious
Okay,
threat
sir.
Okay?
increasing numbers
And
calamities calamities
so now
calamities
encapsulation.
increasing the number of
Encapsulation
calamities
means
like
what?
tsunami earthquakes
Encapsulation means,
earthquakes floods
have you ever taken a
tsunami
capsule
and
Yes,
when
sir.
you are getting fever or cold? We will generally take the capsule, correct?
Yes, sir.
yes
A
to
capsule
put it
has some
on
medicine.
to put it
Inside the capsule,
on in
there is a medicine.
sickness on in
Yes, sir.
But the
sickness
medicine is
on in
covered with the
corporate
capsule.
Cover.
corporate
When you take
corporates
the capsule,
individuals
what is the result?
must work
Your fever will go. Like otherwise, your cold will reduce. These
Yes,
are
sir.
the
to
results. Correct?
to
Yes,
fight
sir.
Inside
this
the capsule, what medicine is there,
fight
you will never come to know. You
fight
don't know. You
fight
will not
this
bother
war
about inside the
fight this
capsule
war
what medicine is there, what is it. You will never bother.
Yes,
That
sir.
is something like we
first
don't know about that, and we don't want to
alternative
learn
Oh,
about that.
yes, sir.
But we will take that. It will reduce your
Yes, just
fever or your reduce your sickness. Encapsulation means also something like that. I will create something. The process of that,
will give the result.
it's not. It's least bothered. I don't want to. I don't want to bother about the process. But finally, I want the result.
Yes.
For example, I went to a pizza corner. Pizza corner. I ordered a pizza. Inside the kitchen, I don't know what they are doing. But final pizza will come to me.
Yes.
Okay. So that means the process which is hidden is called encapsulation.
Okay.
Okay. So this is something like final result we want, but we don't want the process. What was going inside, hiding the process. We are trying to hide the unwanted details by using an object. Okay. But this encapsulation only concentrates on the functionality. But the functionality will never show to you how they are making the pizza or how they are making the medicine inside and put it. You will never come to know that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the so these are the details about this inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation.
Yes, sir.
Now advantages of OOPS. What are the advantages of OOPS? Object oriented programming. So the thing is here, first advantage is flexibility is there, much flexibility. And several classes are SAP has so many classes in it. You can use the same classes. And third one is there was no predefined objects. I will tell you what is this object later. As of now, you don't know what is an object, so I will tell you what is an object. So these are the advantages of OOPS. That means object-oriented programming. Now let us come to the definition slowly. So what is a class?
Urbanization and
Class
industrial
means
revolution are the
what I
major
told you.
factors
Class is
that
user-defined data
data
type.
type.
severely
User-defined data type.
severely
Okay,
damage
please
our
make a note.
environment.
Class is a user-defined data type which has member data and member functions.
Urbanization
Which has
and
member data and
industries
member
are the
functions.
major factors that severely damage our environment. Vast deforestation to accommodate people moving cities has fueled global warming.
So member data means member data will provide the properties of the class, whereas member functions will provide the behavior, how you are implementing this. There is a member functions. So member data means the properties of the class. Member functions means the behavior of the class or implementation of the class. So next one is components of the class. What are the different components available in the class? What are the different components of the function module? Import parameters, export parameters, exceptions.
Changing.
Okay, yeah, changing, exceptions, tables, these are all the different components of the function module. Like, what are the components of the class? Class has attributes, methods, events, so method, events, these are all called components of the class. Next, there is something called visibility. The next concept is visibility. What is this visibility? There are three kinds of visibilities are there.
And industrial
Public,
are the major factor.
protected,
Are the major factors. Regulations are the major
and
factors.
private.
Are the major factors that. Are the major factors that.
That means what I can tell you is all the components of the class. See, there are three kinds of components are there. So all the components of the class can be declared either public or protected or private. Say for example, I have a method. A method I can declare it as a public method or protected method or private method. So now what is the advantage or what is the disadvantage? What is the behavior when you declare a method or attribute or event as a public?
Has polluted the atmosphere.
When you declare some method or event or something as a
In order
public,
to bring the positive change,
the data will be
companies
available
wanted to bring
within the
positive
class
change.
and outside the
Government,
class.
authorities and individuals must
For
work
example,
in
inside the
harmony
function
with
module
nature.
you are there, you have written a variable public.
Nature.
You have
The
declared a
government
variable
has
as a
power
public,
to
importing
influence,
parameter as a public.
enforce,
You can access
and
that
influence
parameter or
to
that
enforce
variable
stringent
inside the
laws
function
to
module and
minimize
outside the
the
function module. Assume.
extent
So
of
I am giving the example.
CO2
That is
emission.
not possible in a function
Companies
module, but
must
to understand
act
you in a more better way,
in irresponsible
I am giving the
manner.
example. So that is
Must
called
act
public.
in
Public means
irresponsible manner.
it is
To
if you
overcome
declare a
problem,
method as a
the
public,
first step
that is
is to
accessible.
create
That method is
awareness among
accessible within
people
the class
the risk
and outside the class
of
also.
facing.
So this is something
Secondly,
like a
there
global
must
data,
be a
globally
fairness
accessible.
and
Okay.
offenders
Okay.
polluting the environment.
So if you inherit
The must
this class
first
from
step
another
to
class,
create
there also
awareness.
this method is
First step
available,
is to
and this
create
is that
awareness
another class is
among
also
people
is
about
also derived another
we
class,
are
then that is
facing.
also accessible. Like it is
To
accessible
overcome
everywhere,
the
outside
problem,
the class and inside the class also. That is public. If you declare a method as a public, that is accessible inside and outside. And what is a protected? If the class is declared as a protected, this is accessible inside the class and its child class. Child class means inherited class. I have a class C1. Class C1 has a child class C2. In C1 I have declared a method as a protected. In C2 also I can see the class. But if I go outside the C1 and C2, I cannot see the class, the method, which is declared as a protected. You can make a note.
to overcome the problem,
Protected
the
methods
first step
or
is to
protected
create
attributes or
awareness
events.
among
These are
awareness among people,
accessible only
notice
within the
among people
class and
about
in
the
the
risk
child
we are
classes.
facing. Secondly, there must be have heavy penalty for
But it cannot
offenders
be
polluting the
accessible outside the class.
environment. There must be heavy penalties for offending offenders for offenders
Next one is the
polluting
private.
offending offenders
If you
offenders
declare a method as
polluting
a
the
private
environment.
method, if you declare this as a
Furthermore,
private
the
method,
government must promote the
so
use
what I
of
can tell
alternative
you,
or renewable
private
energy
method,
sources
it is
of energy, and
accessible only
individuals
within the class.
provide
If you go outside, it will not
subsidies
be
on
accessible.
it.
It
Individuals
will not be accessible for its
must
child
can
class
have
also.
recycled product and reuse
Completely
them.
private.
Until these measures don't hurt companies and individual pockets, they
So
will keep
child class also won't know
doing
these
things to
properties,
increase their profits.
and outside the class also you cannot access this data. Only within the class this can be accessible. So clear what is the public, what is the protected, what is the private. Public means accessible everywhere. Protected means accessible in the class and in the child class. Private means only in the class. Outside the class it is not accessible. The next concept is instantiation. So instantiation, what I can tell you, there are two types of instantiations are there. First one is instance. Second one is static. There are two types of instantiations are there. First one is instance and second one is static. Okay, so what is this instantiation? These attributes, methods, events, that means the components of the class, can be given with some instantiation. Okay, just like these are attributes, methods, events, these are also given with the visibility. Now leave the visibility. We have already discussed about the visibility. Now we are discussing about the instantiation. The components of the class will be given with the instantiation. For example, if I declare a variable is nothing but attribute. Okay, if I declare an attribute with instance, then what will happen? A separate copy will be maintained for its object. So what is this object? Object, I'm going to show you the object. Every class can have an object. Say for example, I have created a class. To create a class, you need to go to the transaction SE24. SE24 is the transaction to create a class.
Okay. It's a class builder also.
Okay. Yeah, this is class builder
All in all,
SC24.
The team works as we are all in mess. We're in the
Just
mess
like
together.
AC37 is a
Although
transaction to create the
we
function
simply
module.
cannot afford damage in the future, our
Okay,
future of
so
the next
here make a
generation.
note.
We must put
Instance means
collective effort in order to
if
save the
you
planet.
declare the class
We must put
component in
collective
instance,
efforts. We must put collective
a
efforts.
separate copy of the value will be maintained for each object. I will show you the practical example for this, but not right now. Maybe when I'm doing this coding part, I'll show you. Static means it's a static. Like if you change the value, the original value will be affected. This is something like call by value and call by reference. You remember the call by value and call by reference?
In subroutines.
Yeah, something like that. Instance means separate copies will be there. Static means
Same.
if you change the value, the original value will get affected. We'll see this example. Okay.
Okay.
Next, you can also say that static data is always class specific. Static data is always class specific. So with this, okay. So some theoretical part we have completed. So now the next concept is there are two methods for there, constructor and destructor. We will discuss this constructor and destructor later. But I just want to show you how to create a class. So go to SU24. And one more thing, remember, not SU, sorry, this
Yes,
is
yes.
SE24. And remember one more thing, what it is. Mm, when you create a class in SE24, then that is called a global class. When you create a class in the program, that is called a local class. You can create a structure in AC11 as well as you can create the structure in
Editor also.
program also, correct?
Yes.
SE38. In the same way, you can create a class in SE24 and you can also create a same class in the SE38 also.
Okay.
Okay, but if you create a class in AC24 transaction, that is called global. That class will be used in all the programs. You can use the class in all the programs. Whereas if you create a class inside the program, that class is specific to that particular program. Okay, so now I'll go and I'll say AC24. So here give the class name. Class name should start with the Z, and SAP will suggest you to have this naming convention. Always whenever you are creating a class, create with ZCL underscore. You can also create ZXYZ. This is also you can create, but SAP will suggest you better give CL ZCL underscore and after that whatever you want. So I will say ZCL underscore test. Okay, so now I have created, I have given a name. Click on create. Okay, so this I will say test class. Give some description. There is a final checkbox here. Remove this final checkbox, uncheck and save it. Save it as a local object. So now what and all we have discussed? Class have attributes. See, there is an attribute screen here. These are the components of the class: attributes, methods, and events. So just now we have discussed this, correct? These are all the events of the class: attributes, methods, and events. Now what I will say? I will declare some attributes. Attributes are nothing but variables of the class. I will say v1 level. What is this level?
So just now we have seen C1, C2.
Level means instantiation, whether it is an instance or static. I will declare this is the instance. And visibility. I will declare it as public. Instance public. v2 instance protected. Okay. v3 instance private. I'll declare another variable v4
Static.
static public. v5 static protected. Attribute type, and here always you need to give some type here, associated type. So maybe I'll give char 3, some 3 characters or generic types, I don't know. Yeah. That means I'm saying 3 characters. All
Yes.
are having 3 characters. And I will also declare one more variable, static
Private.
private. Like this. So here there is some initial values there. I will put some value in this. I will put 10 here, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I will put values, initial values. This is nothing but initializing your variables.
Yes.
In the program you will do initializing of the variable, correct? Initially
Yes.
you will put some value. Just like that. In the class attributes, I have given some initial values. Now I'll activate the class. Save it, check it and activate your class. Okay, now your class got activated. Once your class got activated, go to SE38. I'll say, oops. Okay, so now what you need to do, you need to create an object to get the data from the class. How to create an object? To create an object, the syntax is data, give some name xyz abc or because this is object, I will give obj, any name you can give, obj type ref to the class name So now the syntax means we have created an object for this class. We have declared an object, not created. We have declared an object for this class. So this is the first step. Second step is create the object. So the syntax is create object, whatever you have given here. What is the object name? Obj. Maybe if you give here xyz, whatever you give here, copy this and paste it. Create object obj. That means your object will be created. Okay. Now by using object you can access the class data. Say for example, I will say write obj object
Okay.
arrow. We will use the arrow symbol and v1. Obj v1 means this obj is for which class?
That's
ZCL test. In ZCL test there is an attribute v1. v1 has how much the value?
10.
10. So it needs to print 10 now. Save it, check it and activate and execute. So 10 was printing, correct?
Yes.
So 10 is there in your. If I say v2, save it, check it, what will happen?
20 have to create it. 20 has
20
to be
should be output, but v2 is
protected.
public protected is actually SU24 as long as you are inside the class. That is SU24, but now we are in SE38. This is outside the class.
Yes, sir.
So let me check this. So our program does not know what is v2 because v2 is
Not
protected.
defined. Yes, sir.
So we don't know. That means SE38, in SE38 it does not give. What is this v3? What is the result?
V3 is the private one.
v3 is a private. Here also it will say I don't know what is v3. What is v4?
Static public.
Static public. So static public, anyway this is public. Public means accessible outside the class. So now syntactically correct. Activate and execute. 40 is coming up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now v5.
So that static private protected.
So it is because protected, it is saying I don't know what is v5. v6, what will
Static.
happen? Obviously
That one also not
because it is a private, program will say I don't know what is that. Okay, so got it. Public, protected and private. What is within the class, what is outside the class?
Yes.
Within the class means as long as for the time being you assume that as long as you are in SE24 transaction, that is within the class. When you are coming to SE38, that is outside the class.
Okay, sir.
Next one. I can also call something like this. See what I will do. I don't create an object. I don't want to create an object. I will say ZCL underscore test double arrow v4. Save it,
Now it will work.
check it, accurate, and execute. So now you are getting 40.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can I call V1 like this? ZCL test V1. Check it. What it was saying?
So you can only use double arrow for static attributes only.
Static only. You can use class double arrow attribute with static attributes.
Okay, sir.
So what I have given, I have not created an object. I have given the directly the class name double arrow static attribute. If I give, it will give me the result. It will say syntactically correct.
So,
It will give the result. When it will give? If it is a static attribute. If it is a instance attribute, you cannot call instance attribute like this.
okay, sir. Sir, what about
Okay,
V5?
so if yeah, what
V5
about
and V6?
V5 and V6? Yeah, V5 and V6 are static only, but they are
Private and public.
protected. So it will say, I don't know what is a V5.
Okay, sir.
If you call like this, okay, this is static. You can call like this, but because this is protected, it will not. It will say, I don't know what is V5.
What is the face? Okay, sir.
Okay, so now if you want to create an instance object, what you need to do? You need to create an object and call via object.
Okay, sir.
Obj single arrow V1. This is only way to call the instance attributes
Okay, sir.
or instance components. If you want to call, you need to create an object. For static attributes or static components, no need to create an object.
Okay, sir.
This is very important point. Please make a note. If you want to call instance components, object is required. If you want to call static components, object is not required. You can call via class double arrow the corresponding component.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now by this time you might have known what is the object of the class, how to declare the object of the class. This is how you will declare the object of the class,
Okay.
and this is how you will create the object of the class. Once you create the object of the class, you will use the object to call the values, to access the values which are there inside the class.
So,
Okay. So I will stop here.
okay, sir.
So just this is very basic program, very basic program. Declaration, creation and calling. So try to create a class and try to go through the basic concepts.
Okay, sir.
We will continue it in the next class.
On Wednesday, sir.
Yeah, on Wednesday we will continue. Okay.
Sir. Okay, sir.
Fine. See you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
No, don't have this laptop or some system at his network.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So we are discussing about abstract classes, is it?
Yes, sir.
Inheritance is already over. Yeah, inheritance is over. Abstract classes.
Yes. Sir, have you prepared the specification for BDCs and model pools, sir?
BDC is there already prepared long back itself, but I have not sent. Yeah, I'll send it.
Okay, you just
Module pool I have not prepared. I need to prepare.
okay, sir. You just prepare that one also, sir. Will you send the spec today, sir?
Yeah, I'll send. Shall we wait or shall we start?
1 second, sir.
Okay, otherwise we'll wait for 2 minutes. We'll wait and we'll start.
Okay, sir. Again, we are calling to Javed, sir. That's why.
You are calling to?
Javed.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
One minute.
Okay, sir. Yeah, sir. You can start, sir. He has problem in the net. Javed.
Okay. Fine. So let us start with the abstraction. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
yesterday we are discussing what is a abstraction class. Abstraction class means it's not like a normal class. Abstraction class can also have some methods which were not implemented.
Okay, sir.
Later on, what you will do, you will inherit that class, and in the inherited class, you will try to implement the methods. Okay. So let me create one abstract class and show it to you.
Yes, sir.
I'll go to AC24. I'll say JCL test 1, click on create. This is the example for abstract class. Remove the final checkbox. Here there is something called public is there. Expand this and select this abstract.
Okay.
Save it. Okay, now I'll create a method M1 and I'll say instance public. I'll create an instance public method and M2 also I'll say instance public. Don't create static public methods as abstract methods.
Okay, sir.
Now I'll try to implement M1 and M2. So now I have implemented both the methods, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, but what we have discussed, abstract method means like in abstract class you can have certain methods which cannot be implemented. Now, what I want to do, I want to do M1 as the abstract method. Now, this is abstract class. Abstract class has some methods
Yes, sir.
which are implemented and which are not implemented. The methods which are not implemented is called abstract methods.
Okay, sir.
This method M1 already we have implemented and I want to make it as a abstract method.
Okay, sir.
See what will happen. So now I want to make the M1 as abstract method, so I'll put cursor on M1 and click on this icon, detail icon. Okay. So in the detail icon there is something called here abstract. See,
Okay.
put it, check this. So after you check this, immediately what it was saying, implementation of method M1 is deleted. So whatever the code you have written inside
Sir.
method M1 and end method, so write I am M1 or something, whatever you have written,
Yes,
so
sir.
that one got deleted immediately. Now continue,
Yes, sir.
click on change, now accept. So now method M1 is called abstract method. M2 is called a normal method because M1 is not implemented. If you go inside, so it is saying when I double click, if you observe the status,
Method
what it
M1
was
is
saying,
abstract.
method M1 is abstract. That means no implementation is there here. Activate this, come back. Now I'll create ZCL test 2. This is a normal method. So which I'll inherit from Z test 1. Super class I'll make it as ZCL test 1. Remove the final and save it. Okay. Here I want to write something in M1.
Okay, sir.
I'll double click. Okay, so if I double click, what it was saying, method is abstract and has not been redefined.
Yes, sir. We need to redefine it.
So what to do?
We need to
Yeah,
redefine.
correct. Redefine the method and write whatever you want.
Okay.
So this is how abstract methods will be implemented later on in the inheriting classes. Okay, now again you can go for SE38. You can create object obj, then you can call the method and so on and so forth. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you create an object for abstract method, abstract class? Can you create an object for abstract class? Let us see.
Okay, sir.
I'll go to SE38. Now what I'll do here, data obj type ref2 zcl underscore test1. zcl test1 is abstract class.
Okay, sir.
Start of selection, create object obj. I'll save it, check what it was saying. You cannot generate instance of the abstract class. So for abstract class you cannot
Create an object.
create instance. Instance means object. You
Okay.
cannot create object for abstract class. Remember this point. This is important. And will be asked in your interviews. Can you create an object for abstract class? Why can't you create an object for abstract class?
So there will be no variables.
Variables means
Attributes we are not declared.
attributes. Leave it.
Okay, sir.
If you create attributes, can you create an object?
No, sir.
You cannot. Even though if you there is no relation between attributes and creating the object.
Okay, sir.
The relation is only you are declaring the class as abstract class. Abstract class means, as I told you, you can implement some methods, you cannot implement some methods.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So and I also told you declare all the methods as a instance methods,
Yes, sir.
not as a static, not as a static. So now based on these two, try and tell me why we cannot create an object for abstract class. If I create an object for abstract class, the system will give me a provision to call the abstract methods also. OPJ method M1 also I can give.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which will not lead to the fruitful statement. It's not a correct one because M1 is not implemented.
Yes.
Maybe M2 is not implemented. So we don't know which methods
Which-
are implemented or which methods are not implemented. Correct.
Okay, sir.
So for abstract class you cannot create object, but for the child class which is inherited, in the child class you need to implement all the methods completely. So you can create a object for the child class. Say for example, I'll go here, check it. Now it is true
Okay, sir.
because M1 implementation is also there. M2 implementation will come from the abstract class because it is inherited from the abstract.
Okay, sir.
Correct. So this is the way. So fine. How to do the same thing using program? Can I do? Because this is very few lines of code. I will take it out and I will try to do here itself coding. How to do the same thing here in the program locally? Tell me the code. How you will create a class?
Class.
Yeah, class.
Class
Give some name.
Class name.
Okay, C1
Definition.
definition. end class.
End class. Okay, sir.
In between class and end class, you will give 3 sections.
Yes, sir. Public.
Public section,
Private.
protected section,
And private.
private section. Done. Now go to the public. So here I will say methods M1, comma M2.
And
Now I want to declare this class as an abstract class. Okay, class E1 definition
abstract.
abstract. So now I have declared this class as an abstract class.
Okay, sir.
Inside the abstract class, there could be some methods. That method may be abstract method or normal method.
Okay, sir.
I want to make M1 as abstract method, so I'll give here abstract.
Okay, sir.
So M1 is abstract method, M2 required implementation. We'll save this and check. I have not implemented any method, and I'll show you the check statement. What is saying? Class C1 definition
Implementation.
is not having implementation. So if I give for M2 also, if I give abstract,
Says, sir.
then save it, check it. It's syntactically correct. It's not asking a implementation for the abstract method.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now,
Sir, in protected and private also we can create a method, sir.
yeah,
Abstract
in
methods.
protected and private also you can, yeah, you can create. But create instance.
Instance. Okay.
Don't create static.
What
What
happens?
I meant to say is class hyphen. Don't use class hyphen methods.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. What happens
Okay,
if you
so-
use static?
See, because you cannot create an object for the
Static.
abstract methods. No. Static you leave out. First word concept we learned here till now is you cannot create an object for the abstract class. Correct?
Okay, sir.
What is the reason behind that? Because some methods are implemented and some methods are not
That's
implemented.
not implemented.
If that methods are static, then there is a chance that without creating an object, somebody will try to call it.
Yes, sir.
So don't
Call
create.
method.
So it will not allow static methods.
Okay, sir.
So fine, class and class. Then I'll say that I will implement this
Yes, sir.
class here. This class
C1.
C1 implementation and class
Method into
method M1
statement, sir.
and method write. You can write some logic here. I am M1 or something. I'll put it. So this implementation is done. Now I'll say class C2 definition inheriting from C1. And class simply. Now I'll save it and I will check it. What will happen now?
So that
This is not M1, this is M2, sorry. M1 is abstract class not required implementation. Only M2 is required. Tell me. Now I have inherited class C1 to C2. Now what will happen?
method M1 will also
I'll
compose.
save it and check it. That M1, for the M1 it will ask implementation now. I'll check. See, the class is derived from the abstract class
Yes.
and not all of its abstract methods are redefined. You must define the class as abstract.
Okay, sir.
So what you need to do, you need to redefine the method M1.
M1.
So here, so what I'll do here, I'll go for public section, protected section, private section, method, what method? Methods M1 redefinition to it. After that,
Then we need to implement
class
C2.
C2 implementation and class method
M1.
M1 end method, right? I am child method M1 or something, M1. Yeah. So like this. So whatever we have done in SE24 level, the same thing I have repeated here. That's it. Okay.
Yes.
So after this again, what you need to do, you just do the things like data obj type ref2. Now here class name is
C1.
C2. If you give C1, it's an abstract class. You
Yes,
cannot
sir.
create an object for C1.
Yes, sir.
You give C2, it will be okay. And after creating the object, if you want, call method C1, not C1, sorry, obj singular C1, C2. Which one is, yeah, C1 I will call. C1 is a abstract method. Sorry, not C1. C1 is a class name. M1 method name. M1. Okay. So this is what about the concept of abstract and abstraction. So now you got the difference between abstract class and abstract methods, correct?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now let us go to something called interface. Okay. So interface, when you are going for an interface, so please remember a few points.
Okay, sir.
Interface is it's something like class only. And the interface also has some methods. But the thing is, all the methods are empty methods. In abstract class, what's happening? Some methods are implemented and some methods are not implemented. Because some methods are left empty because later on you can implement as per your requirement.
Yes, sir.
You will take the class as a parent class and you can create a child class, and in the child class you can implement the empty method as per your requirement, and I will implement I will inherit the same class. I will implement the method as per my requirements. So that is abstract. Abstraction concept is it will provide the basic template and you can implement it later however you want. Correct. So that is happening. But in the interface, what will happen? It has all empty methods. Okay, it has only the method definitions. That's it. Interface has method definitions, and also one small important point is interface declaration should be always public. Don't create interfaces as a protected or private.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
when the interface is, so now what will happen once you create the interface? This interface need to be added inside the class. Okay. So once you add the interface inside the class, all the method definitions, whatever you have done, that will come to the class also. So now let us see how it will work. What is the interface? How to create the interface? How to add it to the class.
Okay, sir.
We'll go to SE24. So generally, what will happen? You need to give like say the naming convention of the class. I told you to give ZCL.
Yes,
For
sir.
interface, give ZIF. Use ZIF
Okay, sir.
as a naming convention for the interface. Now I'll give ZIF test create. So now it's already giving C interface ZIF test description. Description you give something and save it. Okay, so now I'll declare here some method. The method name is get some. Give some name and level. Level is what?
Instance.
Instance or static. You can give. I'll give the instance. So this is always public. So here visibility is not given
Yes, sir.
because the methods whatever you declare in the interface is always public. So in this method I will put some parameters. Okay, so I'll put some parameters. Parameters is I'll put num1. Num1 is importing. Num2. Num2 is
Importing.
exporting. Importing. And sum is
Exporting.
exporting. So associated type just like that I'll give char5 or char10. So I have already given the things like num1, num2 and num3. So these are called parameters for the methods. And say for example I'll give another method get VBAK sales details. Okay, so this is an instance. If you want to give the description, you can give some description also. Get the total, make the total. Fine, so get VBAK, I'll give some parameters. Parameters VBELN, type, what can I give? Type, this is importing parameter. I will import the sales document number, associated type VBAK-VBELN, table-field name. So this is a sales document number. And I want to export a work area, WA VBAK. This is exporting and this is type VBAK. Okay, so if I want to export an internal table, what can I do? I'll put IT internal table VBAK exporting. What shall I give here?
Table type.
You shall give the table type. Okay. If you give VBAK, whatever is there here, parameter, that will become a work area.
Yes, sir.
But you should give something here so that this is become an internal table. So what you should give here?
Table
You
type.
should give a table type for VBAK. How you will search a table type for VBAK?
Structures. Go to list 11.
Go
Data.
here, go the data type, put here
Star VBAK.
VBAK and click on F4.
Data types. Table types. Search
Search for table types.
VBAK.
VBAK T.
VBAK underscore T.
So let me see this. One moment. Okay. So this is the table type which is having a line type as VBAK. So now what I will do is I'll put here this sorry, not this VBAK.
VBAK
I need to
underscore
put
T.
this VBAK underscore T so that this will become a
Internal table.
internal table. Now what I'll do, I'll go to the methods now. Click on the methods. So now what we have done, we have declared two methods and their import and export parameters. That means this is a structure. That means this is called a method definition. Correct?
Yes.
So we have declared a method definition, but there is no implementation is required here. All the methods are empty methods. Come back, activate your interface and come back. So ZIF test. This is the interface. You have created the interface. Now what I will do? Remember the interface name and go here ZCL test 3. I will create a class. Now I am creating a class. Description, you give something. Remove this final. Click on save. Save as a local object or give it a package and save it. Now there is something called here interfaces. Click on this interfaces and add the interface ZIF underscore
Test.
test. Add this. As soon as you enter this interface, what happening? You go to the methods and see what's happening. So the methods get sum and get VBAK are coming up here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but how it is coming? It is coming as interface tilde method name. This is the interface name,
Yes.
correct? And this is tilde method name. Interface name tilde method name. This is how the methods are coming up here. So now, what you want to do? If you want to do something here, do it. So what I want to do here, sum is equal to num1 plus num back and get VBAK. So what I will do here, select single star from BBAK into table into table item you can take, or into work area I will take for the better. So into table into work area. Work area means WA underscore BBAK, where what is that? Where BBELN is equal to BBELN. Save it. Come back. Now activate your methods. Two methods. Now it's got activated. So now we have implemented both the methods. Okay. So now I want to call the methods.
Sir,
I'll go to the program.
sir, one
Yeah.
second, sir. So what happens if we execute
Tell me.
here itself? If you click the
What
execute
happens
button,
if I execute here itself?
yes, sir. If you click the
Execute here itself.
yes, sir.
Yeah, you can execute a method. Say for example,
Ah,
so now this is
I like
Z test. This is an interface. Okay.
Okay.
So now wait, there is a class. You can execute from here only. I'll show you. Angular. Wait. Wait. Now see, get some is there, get VBAK is there. I'll execute get some. Execute this method. Num1 I'll give 10. Num2 I'll give 20. I'll execute. So what it is? Sum is 30.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is like just to check without writing coding, just to check how it will work.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So similarly, you can also check how this get VBAK is working. Click on execute, give some document number and try to and check whether you are getting the data into the work area or not. You can check. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now let me go to the SE38. You know how to call the methods, correct? Do I need to tell you, or you can do it by your own? How to call these methods? So data obj type ref to
That
class name. What is the class name? ZCL test 2 or ZCL test 1. You have given some class name, no?
yes, sir.
Is that SE24?
24. Test 3.
ZCL test 3. Test 3. Data obj type ref to ZCL test 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Create object.
So then what you need? What you will
Then
do?
call
Create object obj.
Okay.
Then how you will call method?
Call method get
What is
get
the method name?
Z.
Total.
Yes.
No. You need to give the total. ZIF underscore test tilde get sum.
Okay, sir.
Single arrow. So you need to give a single arrow because you need to create the object. You give the single arrow. Okay. And then give it.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So I'm not doing that part, you just try to practice it. And now what I'm doing, I will just try to make the total interface
Yes, sir.
with the help of local program.
Okay, sir.
That means without SE24, I will make everything here.
Okay, sir.
Interfaces. Yes. And interface. So now what we'll do? Interface IF1. You don't give IF. Yeah, I'll give interface F1. Okay, so here I will say method M1. Okay, importing mm, so some inputting parameters. I don't know, let me check. Mm,
Perfect.
oh, sorry. I need to give methods here, not method. Methods M1.